Today's review really begs the question, is this Endgame gear or is it a level 5 breastplate masquerading as a rare? Good afternoon and welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. Endgame XM1 RGB is the review sample that I have in front of me. I had used it actually quite extensively for about 2 days and then I put it away and waited for the review. Basically, they've got all of the core features that you want to be there, not unique features. They've got the core switches, Pixar 3389. All of that is exactly as you would want it to be, and actually there are a little extras on top of that. But the synopsis for this mouse is it's very, very unique shape. I haven't used a mouse actually that's got a shape like this pretty much ever. And personally, I didn't actually bond with it that much, but everything else was so perfect that I'm still gonna score this a 10 out of 10 product. Let me explain why. So let's start off with the things that are familiar and similar. Normal mechanical switches, right? Very nice. Good bounce back, all of that sort of stuff, very good. Scroll, nice scroll. Very, very nice feeling scroll. Thumb button positioning, fantastic. And quality of the highest. The build quality of this mouse is so good. It's probably one of the best built products I've actually ever used. I will say though that this finish is very fingerprinty, and I keep all the oil and stuff, it's there like all the time. But on the bottom, proper PTFE feet, big surface area on them as well, which is absolutely perfect. When they get smaller, then they tend to have more edges and stuff that catch, and then they don't glide quite as well as they would normally. Well, more is better, right? Contact area, this is what we want. And if they PTFE or ceramic, then they will glide quite nicely. But then you might notice, just below the sensor hole over here, there's another button. And that button lets you change the sensitivity and the profiling on the mouse, or profiling, polling rate at least, on the mouse on the fly. So it has got that Zowie-esque built into the mouse type of setup. And then in the software, you can then change all of that again. Now, the one thing that's a big plus to have over here is lift distance modification. In this instance, you can go between 2 and 3 millimeters. The 2 millimeter is the default, and honestly, that's exactly where you want it to be. Some of the older 3389 implementations came out with the default at 3 millimeters with nowhere else to set it. And what that does is basically, as you come back down after doing a sweep and lift, then you get bumped. So there was none of that over here. Really nicely done RGB as well. I have to say, this ring around the bottom looks absolutely fantastic. It is a very pretty looking product and eloquently designed around that. ProFlex cable out the front, so you're not going to need a bungee or anything like that. It will move quite nicely. Garrett as well looks pretty good. And I have to say that, like I said, that finish and the quality of the build on this is absolutely fantastic. So now we reach the point where I'm going to talk about how this thing is unique from other mouse, and this is the shape. All right, it's actually quite short is one thing, and the hump is further set back in the mouse than it would be normally, and then it's actually wider, and it's got this ambidextrous type of shape to it, but I've never had such a wide mouse ever. I have a particularly wide palm, and look how much of it fills up over there. The reason that I didn't quite vibe with this mouse quite as much is I think this has been made more for a claw grip. So if I go there, it feels really comfortable, but I'm a palm grip kind of guy. It does work, but it just feels too wide because I'm used to Sensei 10 and Model O, which are narrow ambidextrous setups. And even on the Ergo setups that I use, often that side is sloped in. This is one of the widest that I've ever had. But funnily enough, the one area it absolutely excelled in was right click. So when I was playing MOBA, I tend to claw up when I'm MOBA a little bit like that. You can see my hand positioning. And there it's absolutely perfect. And honestly, you can claw right onto the back of the mouse because they've done the buttons individually on the body as well. Don't get me wrong, performance, everything on this mouse is exactly what I thought it would be. And even better than that when I saw that it did have the lift-off distance modification that I've been talking about in some of the Evetech buyer's guide specials and stuff that I do on a weekly basis. I noticed that it had LOD similar to the 5 volt. It's basically The favor, just really well made. Good weight as well, 70 odd grams for these masks. They're very light. The weight, the size, everything is pretty damn good. It's just been made for a very specific niche. And I'm really behind that because it's completely unique. It's not a copy of anybody else's product. It is the only shape of its kind that looks and feels and everything like this does. And that's a really good place to be in. You might not appeal to as broad of a market sphere by doing that, but it makes it so that there are many masks, but this is the only one like this. Now, as I said, you can also get this without the RGB, so if you don't want the RGB and you want to save a little bit of money, those are 900 Rand. And at 900 bucks, it makes it pretty much the best mouse at that price point with this sort of spec and build. Like, I can't say this enough. The build quality, the moment I took it out of the packaging, I was just like, quality. The way it feels and everything in the hand, and the size of the feet and everything on the bottom as well. Please, mouse manufacturers though, please include a spare set of feet. Even if you bump the price up, you know, 5 USD, it's going to be worth it to have the spare set of feet, because then you can just carry on using it. Also, Endgame Gear, the one thing I would like to see in your software is a macro editor. Is a way to set up like shift clicks and that sort of stuff with buttons in Windows, but nothing with full macro editing. That's literally the only thing missing from this product. And I can't reassign mouse button 1 and mouse button 2, which is a little bit weird. But anyway, the rest of it, it's super good. Anywho, that is all I have for you in this review. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit us up with a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side.
I'm out of it, I lick my gun and then I'm done. I'm out of it, no man to tell me you're no good. I'm brushing away, the weight of you, of my shoulder. So don't